Today on the channel, we build Korg from the Marvel Legends Love and Thunder wave, and we also rank the entire series from my least favorite to my favorite.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Marvel Legends ranking and review. As today, we are building Korg, the Build-A-Figure, and we are going to rank the entire Thor Love and Thunder wave from my least favorite to my favorite. But remember, for all your Marvel Legends needs and a whole lot more, hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. So a lot of chatter online, a lot of disappointment in some fans' eyes that we got Korg as the Build-A-Figure here. As we do know, we got Korg in the past in a 2-pack that was a set that went to clearance in a lot of areas, mine included. I think I ended up getting that set for $10 on clearance back in the day. So a lot of people already have a Korg, and they got them very cheaply. I'm not sure if they want to invest in a lot of remake figures, really, when you think about it. As we know, Groot, Star-Lord, Valkyrie, and Mighty Thor are basically re-releases. Obviously, they're updated, new articulation and stuff, but characters we already have in our collection. Then you make the Build-A-Figure the same thing. There's some people that aren't for this. Somebody like me, I'm all in. I like Thor. I'm really looking forward to this movie. There's enough meat on the bone here for me to pick these up, and of course, I'm reviewing them as well. That always helps. And you guys know I love a good Build-A-Figure. I love a good big Build-A-Figure, and Korg's not quite the biggest, not the smallest, somewhere in the middle. But I honestly would rather have a different Build-A-Figure, but I don't know the movie. I don't know all about the movie yet. Maybe this was the only real option for a Build-A-Figure. I guess we'll find out. You got to think we could have got a horse. McFarlane gave us a horse. Could we have got a horse for Valkyrie? Who knows? But we're going to take a look at Korg first, and I did put Korg together already. He went together fairly easily, as you can imagine. Most Build-A-Figures, they're pretty self-explanatory. Arm, arm, leg, leg, head, head. There it goes. But I will say, he's an interesting one because the arms do fall out. There is some, you got to be careful with the arms because of all the rock-likeness on the shoulder and stuff against his new fluffy, what do you call that thing? When it is fur over his top, very Conan the Barbarian-esque. That fur will hit against there, and it could fall his arms out. But his legs stay in pretty solid. Every once in a while, you have to heat up a Build-A-Figure. You have to fight with it. I didn't have to fight with him. However, that being said, there's one thing that is very strange, is look at that stance on him with his legs. That is a wide stance in between those legs. I'm going to need to get some rubber bands and maybe tighten him up and leave him maybe overnight. Maybe that'll get those to stay together better. But it looks like he just hopped off a horse. I don't know what's going on, but that is a deep, deep stance there. He's almost on his way to doing the split. So I don't like that. That does look very strange to me. I gotta say, Korg's an interesting one. Obviously get some laughs out of the movie, but for me, I would have rather seen a different Build-A-Figure. But once I said, again, once we see the movie, maybe we can see what other options we could have got as a Build-A-Figure. I don't know. But it's very Korg-esque. I thought it was basically a straight-up same thing with just some gear changes, but it seems to be different as I did grab that other Korg right here. You got some similarities, but of course you got a lot of differences here. Much more of a grayish, bluish color to him in the 2-pack version, where this is more of a light whitish gray with some dark wash to it. So definitely different. Then you get the overlay of the outfit, totally different on the new Korg than the old. They do share the same weapon, which makes sense, but you get a little bit more detail in the new one compared to the old one. Some better coloring and stuff. Height-wise, basically the same exact size. The new one's maybe just a hair taller. For a Build-A-Figure, I wish it was a little bit bigger. That's just me. But very interesting comparisons there. I guess you got room for 2 Korgs on your shelf. You're going to need to. But he does have a nice overlay. I love this belt buckle of a ram's head. That looks very cool. I like the looks of that ram's head. I don't know, the white looks good. Heads, are they different? Yeah, the heads are different. This is more of just a stoic, normal face, where this is a straight-up smiling face. So at least we get different heads on this one. But a lot of similarities on the heads, too. So I think they almost just changed the smile, it looks like. Very close to the exact same head, but they should. They're the same character. We do get pinless joints. We do get double-jointed elbows, double-jointed knees on this one throughout. So that is a nice change of pace from some Build-A-Figures we get. I just don't know if Korg's popular enough to carry a Build-A-Figure wave on his own. I don't know if people will be screaming for Korg Build-A-Figure like we've seen so many Build-A-Figures in the past. But it's an interesting one. And like I said, if it's the only one we have an option to get as far as a big figure, I guess they did what they had to do here is how it ended up shaking out. But more articulation than I thought. I mean, you got the top up there that moves. You got the thigh swivel. You got the bicep swivel. Double jointed knees, like I said, pinless. Double jointed elbows as well. A nice overlay with the leather kind of wrist guard, forearm guard going on. A nice leather look with the studs, the silver studs going on. Like I said, the belt buckle looks really nice. It is what it is. The fur is very cool, very Bruiser Brody boot-like, Conan the Barbarian boot-like. Maybe he could fit into your Conan the Ultimates from Super 7 universe if you're so inclined. Who knows? But Korg, an interesting one. We'll see how it ranks, as next up, we've got to put this entire wave in order from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, let's get down to business. Let's put the Thor Love and Thunder wave in order from my least favorite to my favorite. And if you guys watched all the reviews, you probably know who my least favorite was just by my reaction in the reviews. For number 8, I believe that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 figures I can count as we're falling things over. Star-Lord is hitting number 8 for me. Not enough meat on the old bone for Star-Lord here, and a step back in the face department, head department, and skin tone department. I would say unless you really need a Star-Lord figure or you're a completionist, things like that, you could probably pass on this and you might enjoy your old ones a little bit more than that, which is crazy because we feel the brand new shiny toy should be superior to the ones of the past. I didn't quite find that to be the case right here. So we're going to put him at number 8. And then it gets a little tough from there. Is actually this wave surprised me. I like this, I think, more than a lot of people might like this set. I guess we'll see what happens as other reviewers do their thing. But I actually don't mind some of these, and I don't have the negativity towards it some people do with some of the rehashes and things. But for me at number 7, I think I'm going to go Valkyrie, I guess. I don't know. I still like this figure a lot. There's just not a ton to it. Maybe that's the thing, but I like the black and white. I like the blue. I love the braids. I think they got the skin tone and the facial expression right there, so it is a good enough figure. I guess I just don't like it as much as some of these other ones, so I'm going to put her in at number 7, which leads us to the number 6 spot. And I'm going to go with this Thor. And the weird thing about these sets is this is the new Thor, his new look. I'm sure this is towards the end of the movie. Something tells me that. This Thor is a look I'm not used to, but after I see the movie, maybe I'll fall in love with this, which makes you like the figure more, and he could jump up. You might ask me 6 months, a year from now, to re-rank this wave. We might be moving up the chain if that's the case, so we'll see, but as of right now, I just don't know this look, not familiar enough with this look, so it still seems strange to me. I still like the looks of the figure, but it's just not going to be as much as I like some of these other ones, so we'll put it at that one. So there it is. There's the bottom 3 for me right here. Next up, kind of tough. This is kind of tough to do, but I think I'm going to go with Korg. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Build-A-Figures usually historically land at the top spot in my countdowns, but not in this case. We're going to put him right there. Korg is one I didn't feel we needed a rehash of. Maybe once again, once through the movie, that might change some stuff. I don't like his getting off the horse persona right here. I'm going to have to tighten those legs up, maybe some rubber bands, get that back together. It is different. It is more different than I assumed it would be from the other figure of Korg we got in the past, but not enough differences where I would say this is just a slam dunk Build-A-Figure. And I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed in this Build-A-Figure. Like I said in the review of him, I would have rather seen somebody else, but I'm not sure what else we could have got, and that's where the movie comes into play. So we'll see. So that's number 5. 8, 7, 6, 5. I can count. I can. We got 4 left here. And this is going to be interesting. This is going to be controversial. Well, maybe not so controversial, but I'm going to go Mighty Thor right here at number 4. Nothing against it. I have the other one, and we compared that in the video. Still a strong enough one. I feel there is room for both these. I'm going to use that other one as my comic one. Probably use this one on my MCU and my Love and Thunder display. We'll go that way. But it's still a solid figure. Once again, a little too light-skinned. I feel like he needed a little bit more tan to it. Obviously, it's just a little too pale white skin tone color, and that's Star-Lord suffered from it the most with his hair. And Mighty Thor as well with that blonde hair makes it even seem even lighter after that. So I'm going to put her there. So the final 3 now, we're down to the final 3. And 2 and 3 are very close for me. Very close. And this could change once again, but I'm going to go Gore as number 3. An interesting one, a character I don't know anything about, but an interesting look, a very Zordon look from Power Rangers as we discussed in the review. Not bad. I'm hoping I like this character even more once we see the movie. A very interesting sword. Apparently that's a big theme of the movie, I'm guessing, reading the back of the package. But an interesting look, an interesting character. Obviously the main villain of the character, have to have him. I just like it. I'm anxious to hear out more about him and see what he's really up to. And then for me, the final two, very simple. I was over the moon on my number one. I talked about it in the review. But I'm putting Groot as number two. A lot of people will have him way down here because they had this version of Groot in the past. I did not have this version, so I'm first time around the sun right here. I needed this in my collection. I was very excited to get this, but I totally understand if you already had the old one, you probably don't see a lot of usefulness in this one, and that is totally understood. But for me, I like it. I like Groot. I needed this. It works for me. That's why it gets to number two. And then we put Ravager Thor at number one. Had a feeling once I saw the images of all these that was going to be number one, and it did not disappoint. Very pro wrestling Thor. I love kind of the band tee, even though it's not a band tee, but it's just a very heavy metal figure. I like the looks of it. I like how big he is. I like the bare arms. I love the double jointedness. I love the pinless joints. Just a solid figure, and a figure that could go in a lot of different toy lines. If you're doing figure photography, you want to put him with wrestling, you could do a lot with this figure. I really do like this one. I could be in the minority. Once again, this is my list. This is my ranking. I'd love for you guys to put your rankings in the comments down below. How do you see it? And I'd love to know, are you passing? You picking them up? You somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comments down below. Now is your time to sound off and let me know your thoughts. Of course, like this video. You made it this far. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the old notification bell. You know we're unboxing all the Marvel Legends here on the channel and a whole lot more. And you can find these videos a whole lot earlier on my Patreon. You can support the channel, get a part of giveaways, exclusive contents, all the fun stuff that I give you over there on Patreon. And then if you want to, hit me up on social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. So for the entire Marvel Legends, Thor, Love and Thunder Wave, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.